Hello, everybody out there in podcast land. This is Rudrani Davy, your host for the Get Happy podcast. And today I have the most fabulous guest. I love this man so much. Mr. Doctor, I should call you Dr. Anthony Mattis. Welcome and thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for inviting me to be here. Thank you, Rudrani. It's awesome.
Love it. I love it. Would you tell our listeners a little bit about you and what you do, please, sir?
Well, yeah, I guess my educational background, received a bachelor's in science degree in exercise physiology or health and fitness, and then became a chiropractor. But, now, God, that was a long time ago, but now I'm an access consciousness facilitator and 3-day body facilitator, talk to the entities facilitator, and an X-Men facilitator. Basically it's sort of all under the umbrella of access consciousness, which is just a pragmatic program, if you will, that provides these pragmatic tools for people to implement in their life to create the life that they desire. I
love it. Wow, you're a jack of many trades. I knew you did the entities calls. I didn't know you were also an X-Men facilitator.
Well, I just became the one-day X-Men facilitator. And again, what's beautiful about the tools of access consciousness is they have so many available resources for people to change things in their lives that aren't quite working out for them. So, I like all the different programs that they have because they all have their own unique energies that they contribute to someone's life that maybe some of the other ones can't quite get to. And so, growing up the way that I did, I remember when I was in my early 20s, I couldn't wait to go to a therapist. I was weird. I knew I had issues, and I'm like, as soon as I have insurance, I'm going to a therapist because I don't want to carry all this shit, So I was like a therapist's dream come true because I would walk in there and I'd be like, it's like I took all the skeletons out of my closet. I went, here you go, and they loved it. And so, but it didn't really change much. They just suggested that I maybe go and do that for a living because they loved how open I was, And so the reason why I'm bringing that up is because to me, what's beautiful and magical about the tools of access is they are able to get to the things that go beyond the conscious and subconscious mind. Mm-hmm. So, because it's I dug up everything there was to dig up. I analyzed everything. I did all these mental cathartic programs and you name it. I mean, again, being in the healing profession too, I studied a lot of different techniques and modalities. I had a guru for 2 years. I did denominational Christianity, prayed in tongues, the whole 9 yards, breath work. I mean, the list goes on. And nothing was able to get to, no matter what I did, I felt like I was always coming up against that brick wall. And then fast forward, my wife at the time, we have 3 beautiful children, and she committed suicide. And I was like, WTF, God, literally WTF, and so I remember literally praying. I'm like, there's gotta be a tool or a modality out there that gets to something that gets to wherever I'm stuck. Because aside from the tragedy, I had to look at whether or not I was satisfied with my life based on all this self-help work that I'd done. And the answer was no. I'm like, I had nothing to show for it. Nothing. And I literally had this conversation with God, literally, like, God, I'm going outside the box. I just got out of the church. I'm like, and if I go to hell because of it, so be it. I'll have a lot of friends with me. But I'm going outside the box. I have a dead wife right now. I'm a single father. I'm a widower at 41 frigging years old. My kids were 10, 8, and 2.5. And I'm like, there's got to be something that can unlock wherever the hell it is that I am stuck. Because it's way beyond the unconscious mind, okay? And so about 9 months later, I learned about the bars, access bars. And, being a chiropractor, it was a hands-on technique, right? So that piqued my interest. And Dr. Dane here, the co-creator of Access, was talking about how he was suicidal. And he was a chiropractor, or he is a chiropractor by trade, as I'm a chiropractor by trade.
Right, guys, yeah, the similarities there. Let me stop you just for 1 second. For those of you that don't know what Access Bars is, it's a friggin' amazing modality and tool of access consciousness that the founder, Gary Douglas, actually created. It's 32 points on the head that placed in different groupings, clears out like a delete button thoughts, feelings, emotions, and considerations you have that are stuck in your body. So, Dr. Anthony is talking about all these things that were stuck that he couldn't get out. And then all of a sudden this amazing tool shows up in his life. So whatever you do, don't research it and don't get your bars run. Anyway, the floor is yours again.
Exactly. Definitely don't check it out. So, yeah, I mean, so I watched this YouTube video where Dr. Dane here was talking about how he was suicidal. And after one bar session, the first time he woke up the next morning and he didn't think about taking his own life for the first time in months or years. He even had the date plan when he was going to do it. So that obviously piqued my interest. But, just coming out of the church, I had a lot of points of view in my head about whether or not this is something that I should seek. And it's so funny because I was studying other energy work, and I had been accused that the reason why my late wife had gotten sick again was because I was studying this other energy work, and it was outside of Christianity, so I let the devil in.
Wow.
So
a little bit of a judgment.
I had to deal with that shit. Yeah. So I had to deal with that shit. So, but I'll tell you what, though, amongst many, 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 many things that changed for me as a result of her choice to leave and going through all of that, it really helped me to step up in ways that I didn't even know that I had in me. And so for the first time in my life, I said, I'm done listening to someone from the pulpit. I'm done listening to the guru. I am done listening to that guy in the front of the stage, but I will hear tools. And then what was great about Access is they talked about, they're designed to empower you to know what you know, to be the leader of your own life, not to follow anybody.
Right. Gary, first to say, don't follow me, ask what's true for you.
Exactly. And that was different and unusual because I kept hearing, if you practice this thing, this will change your life. You will make more money, or you will attract the love of your life. And I did all of it. And none of that happened. And so, I ended up with a wife who committed suicide. I was a widower at 41 years old, and I was still struggling, financially to go beyond mediocrity. Mediocrity wasn't enough for me. And I knew that there was a way to help people. I knew there was a way to help myself that I wasn't able to quite do or get to with those other tools that I just hadn't found yet. So I literally cried out. And then, like I said, the bar showed up, and believe it or not, I put the kids in the car, and I was very resistant to it because at that point I had invested so much money in other techniques and modalities, and I had nothing to show for it. So I'm like, here we go again. So my mind's telling me no, 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 no. But for whatever reason, I got myself there, right? And it really wasn't until the very third bars class where I actually kept going back because I saw the ease and the joy created for my sons. They were 11 and 9 at that point. And my daughter was only 3. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to keep coming back because I'm a lost cause. And I think it's going to benefit the kids. And it was my third bars class, my 6th time receiving a session where I thought I was going to puke. Literally, I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to drive home? My brain was spinning. No technique ever did that to me. And then the very next day, make a long story short, I woke up. When I woke up, I literally felt like God opened up my cranium, took out my old brain, threw it in the trash, and gave me a brand new brain. And this was 10 months.
Terrible thing. Waste it, please. Terrible thing.
Yeah. Well, and then I'm whistling. I was the happiest I had been in years. And then that's when I knew, there you go, happiness. And that's when I knew in that moment, I said, okay, there's something to this work because you're not supposed to be this happy 10 months after your late wife passed away. Yeah, happiness is just a choice. Yeah, well, but I can honestly say though, Rudrani, that it was a physiological, something occurred physiologically that was undeniable. Okay. Right. And I was like, wow. So that got me to pursue the tools even further. And the kids actually kept going. Can we go to the next class? Can we go to the next class?
Yeah, I know your kids. That's true story, you guys. I remember meeting you guys. Maybe it was a couple of years after you discovered Access. I'm not sure, in Hollywood, Florida, when we were taking the advanced 3-day with,
Yeah, there's probably about 2 years into it. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
our tables were very close together. I think I was trading with Glenna Rice and you were with another chiropractor.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Dr. Gardella. Yeah. So it was like, yeah, it was just, yeah, it was just, gosh, it just kept being more magical, more powerful, more potent. And like the results were undeniable because nothing else had made me feel that way. So
Mhm.
I kept going and going and going. And so here I am. I closed my chiropractic practice down and I'm traveling the world facilitating access consciousness. Well, I'm not traveling as much as I'd like right now under the circumstances, right?
Yes,
But
you guys are listening in the future and we're traveling again. This was actually during COVID times where we've all been teaching online quite a bit.
yeah,
So yeah.
yeah. But the tools are magical and they can help anybody who chooses to use them. And so I'm incredibly grateful for the availability of these tools, all the different resources, and really access bars. If that's the only thing you've ever done, it will change your life. I think every household should learn how to do it for each other.
Mhm. Yeah, my mother asks me to run her bars now. So it's
Cool.
like, and the relationship we have now is incredible. Not to say we didn't have an amazing relationship before. She's my favorite human, and I'm moving her
Yeah.
in with me. I mean, I love this lady beyond the beyonds. She's one of the kindest, most generous people I know, and brilliant piano concertist, opera singer. You know, I feel like I won the lottery because I have 5 other siblings and I get to keep her. You know, but she
That's
asks me
wonderful.
to run her bars, and it's amazing because this is a beautiful thing about bars, y'all. I'm in the South. I'm not really Southern, but I like to say y'all and reckon and fixing to. So anyway, the thing about it is when you trade with somebody where you have some of the same considerations, or if it's a family member or it's your partner, you actually dump similar considerations, thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and your relationship changes exponentially. I love facilitating the bars class, especially when I get couples in there and then I give them the 30-day challenge. You know, run bars on each other 30 times, even if it's not 30 days in a row, even if you alternate, even if it's once a week. At the end of those 30 times that you've actually facilitated each other, you will have recreated, or this creationship you will have been able to get to will blow your mind, will blow your
Absolutely.
mind. I mean,
Yeah.
your wife also does access and you trade bars with each other. Have you noticed the shift that that creates?
Well, it's huge. It's a huge gift. We all do it. I mean, now the kids are, well, my oldest son is now in the Marines, go figure. And, but you know, we run bars and my second son's going to be 18. So I just ran his bars last night and did some body process. So we all do it to each other.
What, he's going to be 18?
Yeah, going to be 18 years old and my daughter's not 12, but like we all run each other's bars and we do body processes. And like you said, yeah, definitely do the 30-day challenge because it has this way of removing whatever blocks or walls that you've created as a result of just what happens in relationships over time. You know what I mean? For whatever reason. And those walls start to actually dissolve so that there's a sense of communion between you and the person you choose to be in relationship or creationship with. And when if you have family members that you're living with, it does change things without words. It
Yeah.
just changes things energetically, and that's the gift right there.
Mm-hmm. I've noticed, namely, that I don't place significance on things that I used to, or that things
Mm-hmm.
that would have made me really cranky pants in the past.
Mm-hmm.
I laugh at it now. It's like, oh, interesting choice or interesting point of view, you know, that this is happening. But I realize that I had been placing so much significance on certain things and judgments, you know, even on myself, that I was just making a mountain out of a molehill. You know,
Yeah,
what if those things really didn't matter, you know? I mean,
yeah,
did you notice
yeah.
that yourself once you started doing the bars?
Yeah, totally. I remember Gary Douglas, you know, the creator of Access Consciousness, because I am one of those people who do make mountains out of molehills,
No,
and
no,
Raman Trauma, that
you're
he
perfect.
made he made me watch 12 telenovelas,
Did you really?
which are Spanish soap operas. Yeah. So I remember Googling these telenovelas, and I would get my bars ran because when you have your bars ran to certain movies or TV shows, it tends to bring up these areas where you're limited or functioning from unconsciousness and anti-consciousness. And so as soon my first episode, I'm getting my bars in, and I'm like, oh my God, I do that. I even have that Spanish drama and trauma music going on in my head when I do jealousy or control or whatever it is. And so, yeah, I got through I don't know if I ever got through 12, but I think even the first episode got its point across, and I was so embarrassed. Like, I'm like, God, that's so me, you know? I think I got through about 5 or 6 of them, and I was like, oh my God. Men on La Mancha too. What a great, great movie. Again,
It is a great movie.
Yeah, I mean, if you like to create something out of nothing in terms of like just insanity, if you think there's always a dragon to have to defend against, and it's nothing more than a windmill, right? Then you're fucking insane, right? And that's the gift that the bars are, is it gets you to see where you're actually insane, or where you're actually being unconscious, or even anti-conscious. It's like, you know better, but you still choose to go against what you know. The bars can change that.
Yeah, this reality is very good if you decide you're going to step into it, about getting you stuck in what you believe you need to be or do, instead of, you know, hey, does this even work for me?
Yeah.
You know, I love it. The movie he had me watch was Goodbye Girl, which was very interesting. And I never saw it when it came out. So here I am watching it maybe 6 or 7 years ago. And all I can think of is, man, they're really overacting. You know, this couple is really overacting. And then, you know, and the little girl is such a smart ass. And of course, I'm getting my bars run per his instructions. And by the 3rd time, I'm just bawling because I realized, you know, he's so brilliant. I mean, every relationship I had been in, including my marriage, my partner would step out on me. And I always went to what is wrong with me? What am I doing wrong? Instead of, you know, why are they such an asshole and cheating on me? But it took me getting through all of that. And the piece that I got from it was, I wasn't willing to be vulnerable, not even myself. So that was kind of my, you know, thorn. For you, you know, it's telenovelas. And for me, and I was always taking it down and not making it look like it didn't mean anything. It's got to be my problem. You know, surely I'm the one that created all this. You know, they wouldn't continually be doing this if there wasn't something inherently wrong with me. You know, and the cool part about Access is, hey, and I discovered I'm not as fucked up as I think I am. In fact, I'm not really fucked up at all.
Yeah.
And to be able to trust your knowing. I love that about Access. You know, we show people that they already know. And that takes, all that guesswork is gone. You just...
Well, and it does bring up the areas where you are like stuck, right? And so it gives you that opportunity to go beyond it, right? If you're actually willing to look at it. And that's what I love about the whole vulnerability piece, is like the willingness to look at the good, the bad, and the ugly of yourself without having a point of view about it. Because if you could look at all of it with no point of view, then you have the opportunity to change it and go beyond it.
Yeah.
With the tools. And it's great because a lot of times people start to see or perceive what they don't like about themselves. So what they'll do is they'll try to hide it, and they put on this other face, thinking that somehow that this thing here, the dark side of the moon, if you will, you know, will never be seen. But but it's still having its impact in your universe, because it's energy. You know, it's all energy anyway. So it's like, what if you're able to look at the dark side of the moon, and without having a point of view, and just be willing to be all of it? And that's the space that all the tools create for one. It's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I love that you said that, you know, being able to, instead of going, oh gosh, I really hate this about me, I don't want anybody to see it, to actually be able to be vulnerable and allow that stuff to come up. I mean, it's amazing. And I mean, you telling the whole story about the telenovela, I mean, that's something that the old you probably would have never admitted, even if you knew it. You'd want to, you know, bury your head in the sand, or nobody could tell.
Passionate.
That's right. You know, I was married to a telenovela. I really was. I was married to a Venezuelan, and he was always like, did you ever see the show on TV? What was it, Sanford and Son?
Yeah.
Where Sanford, the guy, Red Fox, who played the lead, it always goes, I'm coming to join you, Elizabeth. I'm coming to join you. My ex-husband, what a telenovela he was. He's Spaniard. Would go into that. If I walked into a room and startled him, he'd be like, oh, you gave me a heart attack. You have to respect my space. And I'm like, oh, honey, I'm sorry. Hear him tiptoeing around him, you know. It's just, Hilarious. So, and that,
Yeah.
which, validated my, my thoughts of, I must be me. I'm wrong again. What am I doing wrong?
Yeah. I'm too much.
Yeah,
Can't handle my energy when I walk into a room.
that's true. I'm going to just self-destruct and everyone's going to die. Um, like that. Wow. So what would you want to share with the listeners? What's something that gets your happy on? Like maybe you're feeling, little, your butt's itching, you're feeling kind of crappy. And is there something,
Itchy.
tool you use or something that you go to that will just automatically snap you into happy?
Well, just like really where we started the conversation, it's like, I'll tell you, when I'm cranky, it's time to get your bars ran. I mean, that's just first and foremost. And that was the tool. I mean, that was the tool that got me to see how powerful this work is. And at that time. And so, and even when I was resisting the work, right? Because it's so different than any other modality I had ever done. And, and you're aware of the point of view of people out there that, oh, what is this weird stuff, but it was like the results were undeniable. But I would say the bars, because it is a way of de-scrambling your brain. It's a way of de-scrambling all the insanities and stuff that you got going on. It's like doing a disk fragmentation on your computer. It's like cleaning up your computer of all these different viruses and stuff like that slow the computer down. And to me, that's what the bars is. And so I would say the bars, number one, and then number two, they teach you about like asking questions, like live in and ask the question is one of the tools. So, and I know this sounds simple and like, how could this possibly work? And again, I use this tool very begrudgingly because I'm like, this isn't going to work. But it's asking the question of how
possibly.
What's that?
I said, it's just too easy. This can't possibly work.
Yeah. Like how does it get better than this? Like change my life. And I remember being like waking up, because you still have that, even a year later, you still have that grief that's in your universe. You wake up every day, you're used to having someone next to you and their body's gone. Mm-hmm. Right. And she was like 30 years old when she passed away. I was 41 at the time. And she was young, you know what I mean? And it's like, so you, not only do you feel sad for what you're going through, you also feel sad for the person making that choice, right? Because it's like, that they were in a deep, dark place at that time. And what I will tell you, if anybody who's out there that may actually be contemplating suicide, there is hope. There are possibilities. You just maybe haven't been exposed to them all. So even when you think you've explored everything, you haven't. You haven't, because there's nothing like access consciousness out there. There's nothing that's even kind of sort of like it. It's its own baby. It's only been around for 30 years. Find someone to get your bars ran, because there's a facilitator basically in 175 different countries. Mm-hmm. So you can find someone to actually run your bars and start creating that space of hope. And so look, the bars, and how does it get better than that? Even if you don't feel it in your body, you don't have to believe in the tools for them to work. They just do work. So when you start asking the question of the universe, like, how does it get better than this? How does it get better than this? You actually activate the quantum entanglements to rearrange themselves for you, and they will support you. The universe will literally become like the wind beneath your wings, so to speak. Not to be cheesy from that cheesy song back in the day, but you know what I mean? But it's true. It's true, and this is coming from someone who's always felt like he was getting kicked in the balls by the universe, okay? Not just from that one tragedy, like forever. And then when you use the tools and live in and ask the question, get your bars ran, all of a sudden things just start rearranging themselves to support you. And I'm like, oh my God. And then it starts to be too good to be true. And then you're waiting for the ball to drop, right? And you kind of going like this. When's the ball gonna drop? I'm on a streak now. This is too good to be true, But really,
I adore you. This just literally happened to me yesterday. I was getting ready to facilitate for a client, and I'm doing this. I wrote this book, Choosing Happiness: An Uncommon Way to Find Joy in Your Life, and it's really like an intro book to Access, because for people that would see me on Facebook and be like, "What is this Access shit you keep doing? I don't get it." And so now I can just go here, read this, and they'll know within the first 2 or 3 chapters if it's for them. It's basically the 10 keys and other things. And so this book is the reason why there's this podcast, because I thought, how can I get this book out there? Oh, I'll create a Get Happy podcast. And then from that right now, I'm doing a 5-day Get Happy challenge. And I got kind of ridiculed a little bit by people. What do you mean Get Happy challenge? This is not a time to get happy. Which, here I am, interesting point of view. I have this point of view. And so it's a closed Facebook group. We had over 150 people last count that decided to choose it. And this morning was our first call, and it was amazing. It was amazing. And so this is yesterday. I'm getting ready to facilitate for a client, and I'm all of a sudden perceiving the energy of what this little book created.
Nice.
And I'm so overwhelmed by it, Dr. Anthony. I was so overwhelmed that I'm walking into my client, and they can perceive it. And they said, "Are you getting ready to cry?"
Yeah.
I am so freaking happy. The universe has got my back in so many ways. And, when we say that, people out there in Podland, it's like, how does it get any better than this? The universe hears that, and it will fall all over itself. We're talking about these quantum entanglements to show you all these possibilities, all these doors and windows open, and you may not even be able to perceive it. I mean, I was feeling it yesterday big time, but you may not even be able to perceive it, but just throw it out there. Just do it for do it for 21 days every day. How does it get any better than this? What else is possible now? And then don't answer the question. Just wait and see what you perceive, and notice, hey, after 21 days, has something shifted in your world?
Yep.
I love this. I love this conversation so much. Huh.
Yeah. And as little things do show up, acknowledge them too during those 21 days, because little things will show up and just be like, oh, whoa, okay, cool. That showed up. Thank you, universe. Yeah, exactly. Because when you have that attitude of gratitude, the universe, again, that puts something out into the ether, and the universe is like, okay, let me show you more to be grateful for.
Right. Let's play some more. I could remember walking outside and it started to sprinkle, and I was like, what would it take for the rain to hold back long enough for me to get in my hot tub for 20 minutes? And then it stopped.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, universe. That was so cool of you. And then I come in and literally the drops start hitting the ground, and then,
Nice. It's a dance with the molecules, truly.
Absolutely it is. All right. So, Dr. Anthony, where could people find you if they were looking for you, my dear?
Yeah, if they want to check me out, they could go to www.dranthonymattis.com.
Okay, we'll make sure that's in the feed, as well as the Access Consciousness website. And, until next time, you guys, well, and thanks for joining us, Anthony, Dr. Anthony. I appreciate you so much. I adore you. And so thanks for listening. And until next time, work on your happy, work on these tools we suggested. And ciao for now.
Bye-bye.